On or off glasses?
What is up, jabronis? JJ back here with Father Time, the Fax Man, fresh off his cruise. So, Pops, I'll tell you this: the face is looking thin. I haven't seen you physically in like 6 months or so, but you got to be dropping the kilos. Face is thin.
I think I'm at like 55 pounds total. And the funny thing is, the last thing you posted was that video where I had more chins than a Chinese phone book. I mean, you put an apple in my mouth and you could have fucking rotisserie rotisserie me. It was like unbelievable. Damn, I was looking big. But yeah, doing my thing, doing my thing. So I know this is a sports show, but on my cruise, I got to tell you this story. This is really, really hysterical. So for the degenerates that want to hear sports talk, I got a really big game for you today. But listen to this. So we do Royal Caribbean cruise, me and my daughter. What she doing my thing, Why am I like on a tape? I know this is a sports show, but on my cruise, I gotta tell you. Why am I on a tape delay?
You're not on a tape delay. You have like you have YouTube tab open on your screen somewhere? That's where that background noise is coming from.
I do.
So close it. What the fuck? This ain't your first rodeo. What, you got to close it?
I did close it, I think.
I can still hear it.
Preview. Okay.
Close?
Wait. Am I back now? Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
You're good.
All right, we're good. So we do the Royal Caribbean cruise, right? My friend out in Vegas, my casino host in Vegas, says to me, he busted my balls for years. Come on, go on a cruise ship. Don't worry about it. I mean, I got like the whole thing monopolized. Whatever you want, you go. I'm like, I'm not a cruise ship guy. I don't do it. I don't gamble on cruise ships. Number one, it's fucking rigged. The odds are crazy. I just do not do it. And he busted me. So now a cruise ship comes up. I figure I'd call him. And so he says, like, you're all set. I got you the grand fucking suite, whatever. It's like $1,800 a night. I'm like, don't worry about it. Casino pays for everything. I said, I don't know if I'm going to do much gambling. I'll be in Tahoe next week. Look, the way you play, it doesn't really matter. Long story short, I walk in the casino and there's one dice table half open, and there's nobody there. And the guy's like, "Oh, Mr. Representative, here, like you play dice." Yeah, I don't shoot the dice though. I don't do that. I'll play. So anyway, I'm sitting there like an idiot. So some girl walks up to the table and somebody else, and they start throwing dice. I go in there. First thing I do, it's single odds. Who the fuck is going to play single odds, right? 100 on the line, the most you can do is 100 back. I'm usually 5 times odds.
1-1 behind the pass line?
Yeah, that's it. And I says, take the ski mask off. So I says, you know what? I'll just bet. I'll bet my numbers. No big deal. So I said, give me 500 outside, 2,000. 500 each number, 4, 5, 9, 10. Pay the 50 juice. Take the bet. Guy throws a 9. Press the 9. Sorry, can't press the 9. Why not?
You already maxed?
I said, I'm maxed. My right-handed guy. I said, what are you talking about? See, now the guy throws 9, pays me 700. Throws the 10, pays me 1,000. I'm like, you guys got to be kidding me. Long story short, pretty decent roll. It went about like 8,000-9,000 on the roll. The person that was shooting wins and decides to color up and quits. No more crap game, right? So I said, guys, look, I appreciate this, but I mean, what the fuck? It's $500 odds? I said, I get that in my garage on Sunday afternoons with my friends. Are you fucking joking? Anyway, I said, this is nuts. So the guy said, what if I make a call? I'm in the middle of the sea. Who are you going to call? See if I can get you 1,000. Anyway, I leave, come back they make a day later, 2 days later, play again. They had to stop the game. They didn't have enough chips to pay them. All they had was like 3,000 in black. They had to order purple, the purple chips. So I win.
How does a cruise ship order more chips?
It's unbelievable. So anyway, long story short, I said to the lady, I said, look, I can't play the casino host. I said, I can't play this way because I got 20,000 in my safe. I got like 50,000 available on credit cards. If I get the ring in my nose, I can go fucking sailing. No pun intended. I said, but this is bullshit. I said, look, I don't, this ain't my thing. I said, bottom line is you don't want me as a player. I know it because there's a $5 table and people are betting $6 sixes and eights and shaking like a whore in church. You don't want me here. And I don't want to be here, to be honest with you. So I said, and in the meantime, on the cruise, they said, my guy says, do not pay for anything. Just sign everything to the room. So like we're supposed to stop at Coco Cay Island, Nass, like all these events that, Samantha wanted to do. They told me not to do them. Just sign it to the room and they'll pay for it. Long story short, everything is sold out. So I go to this. I said, listen to me. I can't even sign anything. I'm going to be stuck on this fucking ship. My daughter wants to do this stuff. So she says to me, you're 5,000 points away from earning comps. I said, I'm what? She says, you're 5,000. She says, it's probably about another hour and a half of play, and then you'll earn comps.
This was who? The table manager or your host?
No, my host is on the island. He's in Vegas. I mean, the host of On the Boat. So I said, let me get this straight. I didn't qualify for comps. She's like, no, you only played like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I said, I'm up $9,000 of your money. I'm playing the max. So what we have to do based on your rating. My rating, I'm at the table max. I can't bet no more. You won't let me. I don't know what you want me to do. How can you have to evaluate my fucking rating when I can't bet no more? I'm betting the max amount of money. What's there to rate? And so I said, you know what? Fuck you. I got your money. I ain't never coming back. I could give a shit. I got your money. Not coming back. 6 hours later, knock at the door, room service. We got a bottle of wine from the casino. It's about, what is it? So I don't want it. So this is a $400 bottle of wine. I said, you tell them to take that and fucking stick it in their ass. So I can't do that. It's for you. I said, okay, I'll do it. Samantha's like, no, daddy, please don't. I'm like, come on, Samantha, I'm going to do it. Fucking end it. I walk in with a bottle in hand. I said, listen to me. Take this. I hope there's poison in it. Fucking drink it. I don't want it. How the hell you give me a $400 bottle of wine but won't pay for a $108 steak dinner? Saying I don't qualify for comps? No, but you're getting there. I said, are you fucking kidding me? So now they're saying that, with the comp, we comped your room. So you comp my room based on me betting. You have a half of a table. Sometimes it's not even open, and I can't bet. I'm at table max. What more do you want from me? So then I stick out my arm. I said, here, take my blood, you cocksucker. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I went fucking nuts. But anyway, that's the story. Royal Caribbean Cruise. If you want to bet fucking $500 max on that cruise, go on it and pay $8 for a bottle of water when it's 92 degrees at fucking sea. All right, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
You need to be more on those high stakes cruises. I mean, you gotta. I mean, I know.
I don't want to gamble on a cruise ship. I can fucking gamble 5 minutes from my house. I'm gambling now while we're talking live betting shit. I gotta go fly to Miami, take a cab to fucking the port of Miami to get on a boat to wait till I get into international waters to play $500 a number. Get the fuck out of here without a sports book.
So I gotta say, I like the haircut. You're at your ripe age. You're still rocking the same haircut as your son, the high fade.
Yeah, I don't fuck around. I don't
like it. Consider me a fan.
You are a fan. You're a big fan.
Quick shout out to the chat WT, Nathan, Chachu, River Rat. Yeah, I mean, yesterday, Astros were good to us. No complaints. I'm not since you quit wearing the man bun. I'm not sure what that means, but that's fine.
I wear one, not me.
No, he's not talking about you. Calm the fuck down. Micro odds, Lance, Eric. Yeah, I guess we can get started. Father time. I don't think either of you. I mean, I want to get into, I guess, briefly into these 2 1:00 games, but I don't think. I mean, I don't have any bets. You have anything you like in any of these 2 games?
In the first game, I don't know. I mean, I didn't do anything, but is it warm by you?
It's hot. It's like with humidity, it probably feels like.
You would think 4 runs could be scored in the first inning of the Yankee game, right?
95. I would say so. Like Eric here, obviously you like the under 8.5. I'll say this. I mean, the ball in Yankee Stadium. It's a lot of these East Coast parks, to be honest, and some of them our bets are going to be that I'm making today. It is extremely warm on the East Coast today, and yeah, you have 2 good arms, but you also have 2 good lineups. I agree with you that if I was going to bet this, I would bet the game over at a principle. But yeah, I think you're going to get 2 good arms. You had 2 good arms yesterday, but it was a little cooler yesterday. It wasn't cold by any means, but yeah, today it is very warm. I'm not sure if the wind's carrying or anything, and there is a little slight wind carry, but it's definitely going to feel 90-ish at Yankee Stadium today, and that ball definitely carries in that stadium. So that's your take. That if you were going to,
I mean, I looked at it. And I said I'm not going to bet it, but if I'm going to bet it, I'm going to bet it over 4. I actually took a really strong position on a game tonight. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You know what? It'll probably make more sense if you give out your game because it is at the end anyway, so people can get it. So yeah, fire away.
So I'm looking at Philly in San Diego, and I said San Diego's home. Put a little check mark next to them. Philly's kind of been like, I don't know. They kind of shot their load on that little run they had, kind of back down to earth a little bit. So Blake Snell, I follow this guy a lot, and he's one of them guys. He's a feast or famine guy. If you're on him and he's on, you're okay. If you get the bad Blake Snell, you're fucked. So whenever he pitches, I kind of always, one thing I always do is I kind of look at the lineup he's facing. So I come up with these numbers, and it's mind-boggling to me. Camaro, Philly, 0-4, 2 strikeouts. Alex Baum, 0-5, 3 strikeouts, 0 for 5. Castellanos, 0 for 5, 0 for 9, 4 strikeouts. Bryce Harper, 1 for 6, 4 strikeouts. Schwarber, only 1 at bat, strikeout. Didi Gregorius, 2 out of 14. Batting 143. Their lineup, 6 guys in their lineup are 3 for 39 versus Snell. 3 for 39. Now that's 6 guys in the lineup. You got a home team against a pitcher with I hate that motherfucker. What's his name?
Eflin.
Eflin.
Yeah.
You won more road games than him. Okay, he hasn't won a road game.
Yeah, he is a terrible. He's a
Blake fucking tramp.
Blake Snell's bad on the road, but Blake Snell's good at home. Often.
Yeah, he's good at home. But the guy gives up 8 in his last 2 starts. 8 innings, 8 runs, 10 hits, and that's against the fucking Marlins and Nationals. You know, if them teams are gonna hit him, I don't know. I don't like him. I mean, I think some bets I made. Snell over 6.5 strikeouts because he seems to strike these motherfuckers out. First half Padres, is it over 1.5 runs? Is that what I see? Padres team total first 5. Yeah. First half Padres minus 125. I mean, I'm going to bet the Padres every way you possibly can. Every way you possibly can. I mean, I just can't. I can't. If they're home, they're playing against Philly, who's out. Yeah, no, I don't. Fucking Padres are going to beat this team, and I think they're going to be some strikeouts. I mean, I definitely yes. Money line minus 130. I bet it early run pair bets. Just
I like it. I like it, and I'm often not a BVP guy because I do think that over time pitchers change, hitters change. But when the numbers are that egregious,
yeah, I mean, you look at it like that. Like I'm not one of them guys that see, Tom Brady's like in 2-14, 2-5 against the Eagles, or that's to me. I mean, players change and stuff like that, but these are batters. When a pitcher owns a certain batter, right? I was listening to in Spanish actually, Carlos Beltran, right? I think he does some work for the Yankees, but if you can understand Spanglish, he does a really good job. And he was saying that his record was like 1-19. His batting average was like 1 for 19 against Verlander. And he says, look, as a batter, there are pitchers that not only own you, they know it and they tease you. He's like, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm sitting on a fastball. He's gonna throw a fastball, and I still can't hit the motherfucker. But that's just the way it is. I mean, it's just, and maybe it's just that way. Maybe it's just that way with the Phillies against this guy. Because look, Blake Snell ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Gregory Russo, hi Greg, what's going on, buddy? There's no other way to do it. And like I say, obviously San Diego's the better team. Obviously they're home, and I got these numbers, in my favor. Why wouldn't I take it? So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bet him that kind of way. First inning, strikeouts over for Snell. First half, and the thing is, it's late tonight, so when I wake up at 3:00 in the morning, I'll get the final. I'll do the squeeze,
I guess I definitely can't disagree. If I was going to bet the game, I definitely would fire on the Padres tonight specifically. I mean, I think you do have a perfect storm of, Phillies regressing, Snell is due for some certain positive regression. Now, Eflin might be due for some positive regression after a few tough starts, but it's not like the Padres are going to be a lineup that lets down in spots like these. So, I really like. I think the price is still cheap enough where the spot definitely makes sense.
I got it at 115 to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it opened. I mean, it spiked this morning. So, I mean,
I love bet openers.
I think it's still a good spot, especially if someone like yourself is going to attack it from multiple angles. It makes a lot of sense. Speaking of, I know you mentioned Verlander. I mean, who would have pegged him to have the year he's had? He's fucking 40. He's basically 40.
You know why? Because he's banging that Molly married.
Yeah, but he's been banging her for years.
I understand, but that makes you strong. That gets them. That Positive Azul fucking legs get strong when you hit that.
Well,
and you know what? And she doesn't have aftermarkets. Those are real. Most of them. No, I'm serious. They're not store bought. Those are real, legitimate. Nuts.
It's good to know that you're able to fact check that. Keep up the good one. That's why we bring out
Kate Upton. That's her name, right?
Yeah,
Kate Upton. Yeah, I wouldn't throw her out of my bed for eating crackers.
That's exactly why we bring out. But I will say that the attractive females, if anything, they've taken down some of the illustrious male athletes over time. I mean, Matt Kemp, I feel like his career completely plummeted after he was dating Rihanna. And Tony Romo, with his slew of blondes that he dated throughout his NFL career, just consistently seemed to take him down. Thoughts?
Yeah. Now listen, I'm just saying this because it was out there. It was remember when the video leaked?
Oh yeah.
With Verlander and what do you call it? Now, obviously, what's his name? He's got a tremendous body, but listen, I'm not gay or nothing. I have nothing wrong. I have no problem with gay people, and not that I was looking, but that Verlander has a pretty nice looking dick. I mean, no, I'm saying if I was gay, I mean, like he's got girth, he's got length. I mean, he's got personality. Don't delete it. I'm just being honest. Look it up. I mean, again,
I'll Google it right after this show.
No, I'm not telling you to go out and look. I'm just telling you from a guy. I'm proud of the guy. He's representing.
Yeah,
he's representing.
And I'll tell you what, I'm proud of him last night too. I mean, he pitched really well. Got himself into a few jams, but nothing crazy. And yeah, we were on the Astros last night as a slight dog. I think that, and I'm interested in your take here because maybe we'll do the show, the format a little different. Maybe I won't cover every game. I'll just cover the games I'm betting, and I'll get a little perspective from you on some things. The Yankees run that they've been on, and you're like a closeted Yankee fan, by the way.
Oh yeah, not closeted.
The run that they've been on, and how questionable sustainability is. Do you think from here on out it's just slight versions of regression, or do you think that whole team just has so much confidence right now that they'll just continue to just sling out 2 of 3 and 3 of 4 in every series moving forward?
Well, I think was that the Yankees' third loss in a row?
No, it was because
they have not lost 3 in a row.
No, because they backdoored the game on. They were down 3 runs.
Okay, when you get a team that can go this long without losing 3 in a row, because it happens to everybody, that means they always have one guy stepping up. They always have one pitcher, whether it's the Nestor guy or Cole or the guy from last night. What's them? Severino. That who pitched last night?
Severino pitched. I mean, they lost, but Severino pitched pretty well last night.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can ask. They have pitchers that keep you in the game all the time, so it avoids losing streaks. I don't know. I don't even think that they've gotten. I don't even think they're at their potential yet. I think they can get better because there's a lot of guys in that lineup. I mean, you look at the bottom part of the lineup. I mean, I don't know how Joey Gallo's on the team, but the guy with the three long names with the whatever it is, Ian, whatever.
Connor Falefa, yeah.
I don't even say it. I just call him the 8-hitter or 9-hitter. But I'm saying there's a lot. I mean, a guy like Rizzo hasn't heated up like he can. There's a lot of guys on the team that, they get going. They're going to be tough to beat. Now I'm going to tell you something too. Like obviously the Dodgers look real strong. The one I don't want to say this. The team I would be worried about, and even though they can't hit now, they can't do nothing. The team that would scare me is Milwaukee. Because if that pitching is what it should be, and they start hitting, and they get hot in, late September.
They have. I mean, their ERA doesn't show it because bullpen ERA is everybody as a whole. But they have the best setup, hold, and closer in baseball. I mean, there's no doubt.
And their starting pitching is really good. They're just not getting any runs. I mean, they're not getting any runs. That's just, but I'm saying that's a scary team. That's a team that
Because if you look at their lineup when healthy, that is a scary. I mean, Hunter Renfroe is like a 30 home run guy. He hits like 8. I mean,
yeah.
they definitely. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think that's a team that could, if they get healthy enough. Because you're right. I mean, between Woodruff, who's been out,
Burns,
Corbin, who's been not even himself, and his ERA is still like in the 2s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that from a 1-2 punch perspective, those two, and then it's not like they have terrible starters around them either. They do need the bats. The bats do need to wake up though. But it's a game where bullpen is such an underrated thing. And credit to the Yankees, like they have arguably the best closer in baseball. What's that kid's name? His ERA is like 0.4.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but maybe Clay Holmes, maybe. I don't know, but either way, it's unbelievable. And Yankees have been doing this without Chapman, without Loizaga.
Yeah.
And when you look at the numbers as a whole, the Yankees are like second in the league in runs scored. They're second in the league in bullpen ERA. They're first in the league in starter ERA. If they can sustain any of this, yeah, they might break the wins record.
Do you think the Mets are gonna when Mad Max comes back and the other guy? I mean, that almost seems scary, but there's something about them I don't believe in. I don't know what it is. I know if them two guys come back, that's going to be.
I tell you what, they've been notoriously choke artists. But I'll say this: I've always been a Buck Showalter guy. I think he built teams up and then either rubbed them the wrong way before he got kicked out. But if you look at the teams he managed, and I'm sure you know this, in like the early '90s, like the Texas teams, the Orioles teams. I mean, he was managing Machado when he was coming up. I think that. It seemed like just when those teams got good, like really good, he got out. And I don't know why that happened.
No, here, if you look at his record, because believe me, actually, I know Buck Showalter. One of my really close friends from Mississippi knew him at Mississippi State. He's a Mississippi guy. And I actually went to a dinner where he was hosting down in Baltimore, not far from me. My mother-in-law is a big Oriole fan. Really, really super guy. The thing with Buck Showalter is when he was with the Yankees, when the Yankees were really, really good, he couldn't like when he has teams that are supposed to win, he don't win. When he has teams that are very bad, he makes bad teams good. But he's always going to be remembered when he took that Oriole team to the playoffs, and their best closer was it Bundy, who was the guy that he never put in the game. Their best pitcher in a tie game never even pitched. And that's what cost them the playoff game or the wild card game. And that's what he's going to be remembered by. And it's like, he says, no, I'm only going to put him when we got a lead because they were at home. But I mean, shit. I mean, you got this guy in, you let him pitch till his arm falls off. You got to extend. I like Showalter. He's a player's manager. Everybody seems to like him there. But he seems to have problems with really good teams. I don't know what it is. I mean, he gets you there, but if he leaves, if he gets fired, the Mets will win the World Series in the next year or two because that's what seems to happen.
It's been like a trend, right? I mean,
yeah.
He's a good team, and they kind of go bonkers. But he did inherit arguably the best team he's ever inherited with this squad. Now, granted, he's dealt with a few injuries with the starters, but it'll be an interesting mix because there's nothing that's a shoe. And the Mets have had a great year despite these injuries. But it's not like it's going to be easy pickings to beat the Dodgers 4 of 7, or even like you said, if the Brewers heat up at the right time, they're not going to be easy. Phillies bats, if they're stroking it, that lineup is not easy, and they have Wheeler and Nola. I think there's a lot of talent in the National League that could really wake up in the playoffs, which will make it difficult for the Mets. Meanwhile, the Yankees, I'd argue, their path to the World Series is likely easier. I mean, what are you talking? The Astros? I mean, sure, but I mean that's assuming the Astros can stay healthy. With a guy like Verlander, I think Verlander's key for them. But who else in the American League is really going to scare the Yankees?
No one's going to give them anything. Now, the one thing I've noticed is it me or every time Javi Baez and Joey Gallo get up, they strike out. Javi Baez for the Tigers strikes out. He strikes out on the on-deck circle. I never see this motherfucker get a hit. I never see him make contact. No, it's unless I'm just watching it at odd times. But like when he was with the Cubs, he was like legit. Like he wasn't bad. He made contact. This guy just swings from his eyes to his shoelaces. I mean, just never make. He's not even close.
And I'll admit, I couldn't be more wrong on him. I thought that in the offseason, I thought that a lot of teams missed the opportunity to get him at a cheaper tag. And obviously the Tigers ended up swooping him up. But it's pretty clear that the advanced numbers said this dude is just a K machine. And he's now hitting like 7th for the Tigers, which is great. That team has nobody that can hit anyway.
I know. I mean, like if you're hitting 7th for the Tigers, that's like hitting 4th for a AAA team, or for a AA team. I mean, it's crazy.
But no, good stuff all around. So I'm going to give the 2 picks I want to give out, and then you guys in the chat, if you want us to talk on any games, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll talk on it. But again, we'll do a little different format so we can keep this show at least under 45 minutes in total. The 2 games I bet today, at least in time order. So Cardinals Cubs, I really like this game over the number of 9. I got this minus 105. I think now at DK it's actually plus 100, so it's actually gone the other way slightly. But Cardinals Cubs over 9 plus 100. Now, it's kind of like I've said all season long. I think that I picked up on my father handicapping this sport in terms of park dimensions and getting a better handle on what numbers should be in certain parks and where you like logistically can't bet an under at a certain park at a certain number, and where you can't bet an over at a certain park at a certain number. Doesn't matter who's pitching, doesn't matter the lineups. This weather in St. Louis, and first of all, this park has played pretty small this year, relatively. It will feel like 100 degrees in this game with wind blowing out to left field. You have a Cardinals lineup that should be able to get to Sampson here. I think that, well, first of all, even Miles Mikolas has had a great year, and he's a ground ball pitcher. Look, Adrian Sampson, I mean, sure, he throws a decent start. Is what, first or second time out this season. But let's be honest, this dude, it's not exactly like he's been a world beater throughout his MLB career. Granted, he's not like super, old or young anyway, but he's been okay. I mean, he had a decent year last year, but again, not a whole lot of innings behind him. For me personally, though, I think it's a difficult ask for pitchers to keep the ball in the ballpark today. Now, the Cubs haven't exactly been hitting the seams off the ball, but again, this is a pure number play at this park in this weather. And it's not like you're getting 2 of the best bullpens either. These are definitely 2 middle of the pack bullpens, and I'd argue the Cubs are definitely below average in their pen. So for me, it is a little scary. You get 2 what might be considered above average arms in a park where the number's 9, but I do think the weather neutralizes that a lot, and I really like this one to pop over. Dad, I wanted your perspective, and I know I kind of learned this from you anyway. When a park like St. Louis, where I'd argue the median total at this park's about 8.5, 8.5, especially since now in the NL there's no more pitcher batting. What is your take on a game like this where it's super warm but you have 2 good pitchers? Do you still favor the arms, or do you take into account the weather?
Well, what I would look at first off is you want pitchers, contact pitchers. You want to be able to know that it's not a ground ball pitcher. I remember like when Lester would be pitching for the Cubs and the wind would be blowing out and the total would be like 12.5 because the wind would be blowing out. Problem is the guy's throwing ground balls. He doesn't throw the ball in the air. So if you get pitchers that keep the ball in the air, them deep fly balls could be gap shots. It can be home runs. It makes a difference. I like to, I'd like in warm weather to bet on pitchers who are, contact guys, not guys that are throwing the, not double play type of pitchers. The thing about in St. Louis, but as far as that line goes, here's something I'd be curious to check on, but I do a lot of things just on memory on what I see. It seems in that stadium, you don't get like 1-1, a run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. It seems like there's always a fucking 4-run inning or 5-run inning in St. Louis, like when the game goes over. And especially when it's hot. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's a walk, a double, a homer, another walk. Next thing you know, it's 5-0. And then another team will come back, another 3-running. It seems like them overs go over really quick. And they go over fast, and they go over like in big innings. It seems like a lot of big innings in that stadium. Other stadiums, you got to grind runs out. That stadium, like I said, and again, it's not like it's not Fenway Park. I don't know. I mean, it could be. You got to look at it like this: if you feel runs are going to be scored, if you feel a run, if you make a game 8.5, but you like the matchup, okay, 9's not going to matter. I mean, you're expecting something. You got to understand something too. You're expecting the ball to carry. What you're not factoring in, which is going to help your total, is there's going to be an error. There's going to be maybe a couple of walks. There might be a ball that just takes a bad hop, extending innings, turning the batting order over. So yeah, I mean,
I think for me, it's a bunch of things with this game. I think first of all, Miles Mikolas is a guy who's not striking out anybody in this league, and his ground balls are actually the lowest they've been in his entire career.
Okay, so he's keeping the ball in the air. He should get some balls out of the park. Ball should be going out of the park.
And then Adrian Sampson, who last year was practically all smoke and mirrors, another guy that does not strike anybody out, another guy that's a 40% sub ground ball rate, which is relatively low compared to league average. This is a guy that ERA last year was 2 in 35 innings, but his xERA, his xFIP, his SIERA, all of it was over 5. This dude was getting absolutely blasted and finding gloves in short samples. I think that, if again, with the weather factor in our favor, with average at best pens, I think this is a low number at this park, and I do think we get runs today there.
I'm telling.
All right, so other play I bet today, and actually there's a third one that I could talk on, but we'll stick to the second game. So Braves Dodgers. Now last night there was not a lot of runs scored despite a lot of foot traffic. And the total was, I believe, 9 yesterday. It's again 8.5, 9 today, full game. You get Max Fried, who's been sensational, right? I mean, he's been great. And you get Mitch White, who's been average, I guess. My concern here is, once again, the weather. This stadium today will feel like over 90 degrees, slight wind coming out. And I liked what I saw yesterday. The sticks were very live. They were terrible runners in scoring position. There wasn't even any home runs, I don't think, which is kind of crazy because it was warm. It's warmer today. I like the first 5, though, over 4.5. So I didn't bet full game because these are believe it or not, two of the best pens in baseball. But first 5 over 4.5, I think is super live in this spot. Again, we know we're going to get 2 of the top-notch lineups in baseball. I am by no means a Mitch White guy. And Max Fried's been great, but he's going to be heavily tested against a Dodgers team that is finally starting to find their stride with the sticks again. They were, Dad, believe it or not, the Dodgers went like 3.5 weeks of playing 500 baseball, which is kind of crazy for the talent they have. But they've found their sticks again. Yesterday, they kind of pounded away a bit. And again, they had 4 runs, but it felt like they should have had like 8 or 9.
Well, I bet the Dodgers first 5 yesterday, and the thing was, it was 2-0. Okay, bases loaded, no outs, and it was still 2-0. They go to the second inning, and it was, I think, second and third no out or something. It was it was crazy. The Dodgers should have scored 10 runs yesterday. Now, Trey Turner and obviously the guy behind them, Freddie Freeman, they hit real well in that stadium. And you get 1 and 2 guys, you set the table with them guys. Who says Sean? No way I'm passing on Dodgers plus 136. I'd have to agree with you. I mean, you can't take a team that hits the way they do, and how they had that team on the ropes yesterday. Not, you got better than a coin flip shot of winning that game. And they're giving you plus 136. I mean, I would do that on principle, not as a handicap game. But the Dodgers are going to score runs, and I think the Braves have been scoring runs. The Braves have been averaging 7 or 8 runs a game, I think, in a couple week period. So I would think would go over, and I think if it goes over, you want to probably get it over early. So yeah,
because you get that platoon game from the Pens late, and again, this game could be 4 runs in the first 5, which would be a loser, and then could go over anyway. But for me personally, you get the bigger home team. But to your point too, Dodgers as a big dog is kind of juicy in itself, especially with, like I said, they're finding their stride again. But again, Max Fried's been really good. I'd argue for some regression en route for him. But he's been really good. So, but needless to say, again, call 2 principal bets there. I also think you could dabble. So my issue here, so yesterday I did bet an over in Royals game. First of all, I love this park over. I love betting overs in this park this year. It's like been historically warm in Kansas City this year. I don't know why. But I've loved betting overs in this park. The problem is that the Athletics lineup is fucking awful. And the Royals can definitely get to bad pitchers, and they're going to see a bad one today. What's your park like that, Dad, where you have 2 bad arms, but you also have 2 bad lineups in a game that's going to be 100 degrees? What's your take in a game like that at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City?
I mean, if you got two bad pitchers and you got two bad hitters, the bottom line is there's always going to be an advantage pitcher, because again, a successful uh, hitter in baseball is still going to fail 70% of the time. And a pitcher could pitch bad and just get hammered and just hit the ball with people. So if it's a situation like that, I would, the number would have to be really, really high or low for me to make a decision one way or the other on it. I've always said to people, when you try to find a way to win a game, I say, you know what, I like this game. You hear this a lot in football. I like the Packers. But if the Bears could somehow slow down Rodgers, then they have a shot. Well, then you don't like the fucking Bears, okay? Because it just doesn't. You can't if you're looking for a reason or an opportunity on if they can do that. Well, if the queen had balls, she'd be king. It just doesn't happen. Just why next game? What's the next one? So a lot of times, like, I know a lot of people have opinions on a lot of games, and they say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" I'm like, I really don't have an opinion. Well, you have to have some opinion. I mean, like, I really don't. I mean, I don't have to bet every one of them, but I don't know. It's just, I think that if it came down to, I always tell the story, guy bets $1,200 on the under in the Brewers Cardinal game 15 years ago in Vegas, and guys are waiting on line, and move. Guys said, I'm not moving anywhere. So what are you doing? So I'm cashing a ticket. The fucking game didn't even start yet. Move, come on, hurry up, game's starting. Guy says, listen to me. I got under 8.5. Fucking score is 0-0. When they score 9 runs, I'll leave. But right now, this is a winning ticket. Okay? Until they score 9 runs, it's not a losing ticket. Go fuck yourself. Go to the next line. I am staying here. So I always use that mentality. You know what? They got to beat me. I made a bet. People bet unders. They got to beat you. People bet overs. I'm always in the game. I always have a shot. 2 different type of people.
Yeah, definitely.
I always find that interesting.
Definitely fair enough. I think that, let me get to one comment. I know somebody asked about the Brewers and the Blue Jays. I'll tell you this. I think if you want to bet the Brewers, you missed your chance. The Corbin Burnes gets steamed arguably more than any pitcher in baseball these days. But again, if you watch him pitch, like, he hasn't even looked great, but his ERA is under 3. He's striking out a ton of dudes. He doesn't really walk anybody. But again, if you want to bet them now, you're kind of a bit late to the party because now you're going to have to lay either, you want to lay a run and a half full game with a home team, or if you're going to lay first 5, you're going to pay like $1.30. I don't love that. I think that Kikuchi's in a bad spot, but Kikuchi just seems like he's always in a bad spot.
He's always giving up big hits.
Yeah, I was happy that Seattle got rid of him. He's not a guy that strikes anybody out, and he's a guy that gets brutally banged up against right-handed bats. And again, most of the league is big right-handed bats. I think that overall, though, call it. Even at this price, I guess I'd have to lean the Brewers just because Kikuchi's so tough to watch. But I think maybe you can find yourself some wiggle room around it. Maybe bet the Brewers first 5 over their team total. If you think Burnes is going to pitch that well or whatever. But as far as where the line is now, I can't love anything about it, to be honest.
You notice, but that Kikuchi guy, this is the only pitcher I've ever seen that after he throws the pitch, the ball leaves his hand, then he fucking sulks. He don't even watch the guy swing. Like, he knows he fucked up. He throws the ball, he throws the ball, and he's like, shh. And like, he's not even looking at the guy swinging yet. He just knows that that's a gapper or a home run. Or just walks around and shakes in his head. They don't even look at the ball. He knows, like, this one is a fucking souvenir. No, for sure. And also, Corbin wasn't that the third baseman on Major League with Corbin Burnes? Wasn't he in that movie with Charlie Sheen?
Was it the same name? I don't know. That movie dates my time, but I did watch them with.
Great movie.
Is that Wesley Snipes too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they asked Charlie Sheen, he says, "What league did you play in?" He says, "The California Penal." He was in the penitentiary. That was a good movie. Texas game over. Nathan, yeah, I gun to my head, I say yeah.
Well,
I say yeah.
Well, CJ. Okay, so CJ likes it under. They're saying over. I'll tell you this: they're definitely going to close that roof today in Texas. If that
Well, that's
matters.
the difference. I don't know. It depends because it'll be hot as a motherfucker there.
But yeah, I mean, based on what these two, I'm really not a big Josiah Gray fan. I think he can pitch well in spurts, and you're a Nationals homer, so maybe you like him. I think he's a guy that has upside, but consistently can act like a gas can. You like Josiah Gray over there in Washington?
Compared to what they got, I mean, picture this: their best pitcher is Patrick Corbin. He's like 2-11 with an ERA. I mean, he's their best pitcher. I mean, and when he pitches, I mean, they're plus 250. I mean, sad.
Soto's not going to be there much longer, right?
No, he's not going anywhere.
Well, we will see.
Because here's the deal. He's a really good kid. He just likes the game. He has fun. The thing is, they get rid of him, then they might as well just get rid of that franchise because they fire sale everybody. I mean, how do you get rid of Trey Turner? I mean, you want to get rid of some of them guys. I mean, you get rid of Trey Turner. I think they got to keep him because what are you going to do? Send him to the Yankees? Send him to? I mean,
I don't even think it's that. I think like Soto's numbers are down this year, and granted, I am a bit of a Soto homer, but I think that he's becoming a product of what's around him. Like he's not playing near to his potential, but I think it's difficult, right? I mean, if you're a pitcher, you're just pitching around him every at bat, and because there's no protection for him in the lineup, and I'm sure he's getting frustrated because his numbers are like career lows this year.
Yeah, what he needs to learn, and this is really crazy. He's got second and third, 2 outs. Obviously, they're pitching around them, right? So it's a 3-2 pitch. It's like it's a 3-1 pitch, and it's a borderline pitch that the umpire calls a strike. And he's like looking back at the umpire, and he's like, and the announcer said it straight. He's like, "Pal, swing." I mean, what are you looking to walk for? So Josh Bell can get up or some fucking other guy? No, swing. He's got to swing at anything because he's their only shot. But I think he leads the league in walks, but he's got to swing more. I mean, the walks aren't going to help him. They want to walk him. He doesn't. I think he's just probably playing the game right.
He's getting some of that Bryce Harper treatment that Harper got in Washington that kind of broke him. I think you remember that Joe Madden series with the Cubs where they intentionally walked him like 7 of 11 at bats, and then Harper's numbers just plummeted from that series on.
People talk. I'm not a Bryce Harper guy. I'm not, but it's hard to say he's not one of the top 5 players in baseball.
No, he's having a great year.
I mean, he's good. I mean, he is really, really good. I mean, he's I look at him. I look at obviously Trout, and then now you look at Judge, and there's some play. I mean, Freddie Freeman. I mean, those are my guys. I mean, those are guys like to me too. Like if you tell me you got second and third, 1 out, you need a run. Who do you want up? You can have them all. Give me Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera gets fucking runners home when you need him to, and he's done it his whole career. Miggy doesn't fool around. He could slap it the other way. He doesn't give a shit. He's been playing a long time. He's a wise old man.
Yeah, there's you know what it is, the drop off this year. I think I saw a stat yesterday that 5 or 6 teams are on pace to lose 100 games this year. When was the last time that happened? I mean,
I don't know when a team lost 100 games, you're like, holy shit, that team sucks.
Yeah, and it looks like there's going to be a bunch, and like even this year, like the OPS numbers, you have a few guys that are hitting really well, and then there's just a lot of mediocrity this year. I mean, even like Vlad Guerrero, his OPS is what, like 850. I mean, you kind of expect more from guys like that. I mean, but there's a lot of mediocrity this year, which I think it goes more to show you the guys that are doing really well, guys like Yordi and Trout and Goldschmidt and even Jose Ramirez kind of snuck up this year. Of course, Judge and Harper. These guys are all having tremendous years, and it's nice to see. And granted, it's getting warmer, so you would expect these numbers to kind of continue to move up. But it is nice to see, guys really doing well at the top, because I think we've had a few years now where OPS numbers have been down and maybe pitching has kind of dominated a bit, but it's been nice to see. All right, so that wraps it up. We obviously gave you a few bets to chew on. I didn't go through every game, but no worry, we'll go through every game tomorrow with Joey and Holden.
Are you going to hold it on tomorrow? Is he going to give another minus 800 favorite?
So it's his new shtick.
The weird thing was that game that he did a couple of weeks ago, where he says Kansas City will score a run, 1.5 runs, minus 800. That was his bet. The fucking game was nothing. They didn't have a run in the bottom, until the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, and then
he was sweating.
Then it just exploded.
It doesn't matter. How do you fucking do it? I mean, how do you? And
Well,
not only that, seriously. And I like Holden.
It's a shtick, though. It's not.
I know. I like him, and I understand the bets are they're fun bets to talk about, but I mean, he's a fucking tool. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, he's a good guy. Don't get me wrong. You know, he's a good guy, but like, I mean, come up with give me something plus 800 where I could say, hey, you know what, I could see that.
You know, it's all for some laughs.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. I drop him.
So yes, folks, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we go 2-1 with our bets today. 3-0 obviously would be a pipe dream, but nice to have either way.
A wet dream.
Yeah, or that. But yeah, needless to say, thanks, Dad, for popping in. Hope you.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to help you with ratings.
Yeah, well, that's debatable.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, as always, stay safe, gamble responsibly. It's a beautiful day here in multiple areas of the country, the world. So enjoy yourself today. But needless to say, stay safe.
Wait, why can I send off words?
Feel free. Floor is
Guys,
yours.
definitely stay safe. Don't be a pussy. Take your kids' communion money. If you have to gamble it, fucking gamble like a maniac. You're here to make money. Don't be a coward. You know, look, whack your credit cards. You got time to pay it. You run short. Go to home loans, get refinance mortgages. Do whatever you got to do to get cash to gamble, because that's what you're here for. Don't put on that stuff, well, I want to be responsible. No, you're a gambler. That means you're a sick, degenerate, lying motherfucker. Do that, gamble, make some money. God gave you these two things between your legs called balls. You use them, and you fucking bet like you want it. Other than that, be careful. Hey, that was a good send-off. Guys, maybe I'll pop in tomorrow and bust your nuts when Holden is on.
Classic. All right, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck today.
You got it.